Hello, it's Coach Dan Largent from Olmsted Falls High School Baseball. Hope you enjoyed the first part of our video series for the youth coaches in the community on fielding techniques with agility drills mixed in. And in this part, part two, we're going to be doing some hitting drills and talking about the swing and hand path and our back leg drive. The first thing we're going to see and talk about is where we want our feet and our hands when we get to our trigger or our load. It's also called getting separation. You know, there's all sorts of different ways to talk about it. And that's where this young man is here. It's when he gets that front foot down and he's going to start his swing. You want your hands to be shoulder height. And this is a sophomore and he has a very polished swing. He's a very polished hitter. And you don't want those hands to go below your shoulders. You want to keep them somewhat close to your body. Your feet, when you start the swing, when you're starting your swing, you want that angle from back foot to front foot and from front foot to the hands to be about 45 degrees to 50 degrees for a high school player. Most major leaguers are at 45, so for a high school kid to be close to 45, that's pretty impressive. We have to preach over and over, and my players are tired of hearing it already, but I'm not going to stop saying it, that their feet need to be wider when they start their swing. We're all too narrow. We have almost like golf swings right now, and so we're trying to work past that to widen the base a little bit to generate more power and have a more solid foundation driving through the ball and getting our hand path better. Because if you see this front line here, from the line that goes from the hands to the feet, that's the path you want to the ball. All right, we don't teach a level swing. All right, that's not the proper way to swing the bat. We want those hands on a downward path, slightly downward path, but the barrel will be below the hands as it comes through. So it's not chopping down at the ball. It's just bringing the hands on a downward path, and you'll see as he starts his swing, you know, that's where they're going to go, and you'll watch the barrel starts above the hands, but right here it's below the hands. So it's not really like it's a tough thing to talk to kids about sometimes, because you don't want to say swing down, because then they'll start chopping down at the ball. So it's really important that you teach them proper hand path, and one of the best ways to do it is to make sure that their feet are wide enough when they start their swing, because the body will naturally make the right hand path through the zone. All right, if you're close to that 45, your hands won't have much of a choice but to go on that slight downward angle. All right, and as the barrel comes through, obviously it ends up below the hands. All right, and that's what we want. Now, when he starts his swing, his hands are at shoulder height, which is great. His barrel is up. It's not wrapping behind his head. A lot of players tend to wrap that barrel all the way back behind their head, and it just adds a ton of distance to the swing, makes the swings really long. As he starts his swing, notice that the movement is being initiated by his back knee. His back knee dictates what the front side does. If you start your movement with your front side, you're going to tend to pull off. So we don't want movement to be initiated by the front side. We want it to be initiated by the back side. You can see that back knee driving. And that's one of the best tips I ever got, was from Coach Harrison at Baldwin Wallace. And he's a very great hitting coach, and and his line is, the back knee initiates what the front side does, and that, ever since I've been saying that to the kids, they seem to really grasp that a little bit better, instead of having that back knee being afterthought. All right, you can see as he brings that back knee through the zone, his front leg is firm, driving the back knee to the ball. There's air under his heel. His head is right on the pitch. Good lead arm extension, flat hands through the zone, belt buckle to the pitcher, all that good stuff. And you can see the positive result. I'm going to go ahead and let that play. This is a drill where our coach is only about 15 feet, tossing underhand, and he is doing it at a quick rate. And that's a good thing. We want to get as many cuts in as we can, short, fast swings to the ball, and get right back and do it again. Now, how do we get to this point? Well, here's one of the drills that we do with our guys, and I also do with with younger pitcher or younger hitters, and this is an example of a freshman softball player who I work with on her hitting, and I started working with her when she was in 8th grade, and she has an excellent swing. She could easily hit at the high school level in baseball at the freshman level this year. I have no doubt about it. But we use this block. It's just a little wooden ramp that we use to stretch our calves in the training room. And I started using it because last year I wanted to have some of my players get that feeling of driving, really pushing off and driving that back knee to the ball, initiating that movement with the back side. And so using this ramp kind of gives them that feeling of coming through with that back knee and driving off. And if they can achieve that feeling of pushing off when that block isn't there, then they're going to be that much better of a hitter. And you can see she has a lot of the same characteristics that Erin had in the beginning. Great firm front leg, head is still, great lead arm extension, eyes are right there on the ball. Firm front leg, driving her back knee to the ball, belt buckle to the pitcher, flat hands. She has a very nice swing, and she's going to be a very successful high school softball player. No doubt in my mind there. We'll go ahead and let her take a few more cuts. So that's the ramp drill, I guess you could call it, or wedge drill, and we're doing it off a tee, and then you're going to see us transition into doing it when somebody is tossing to us. Here's Matt. He's a senior. He's going to be playing college baseball next year. He's got very fast hands, very quick hands. What we're doing here when we have a tosser out front, you can see we're only about 10 or 15 feet away. And what he's doing is he's exaggerating with that front foot. He's picking it up almost like a pitcher, and we're doing that on purpose because we want to make sure that we're getting wide enough with our plant foot. Here's Nathan. He's a sophomore, also has a very good swing, very nice swing. We're working with getting him a little bit wider. You can see he's still just a little bit narrow, and this is the type of drill that will help him make sure that he gets that half a body length. You should be about half a body length between your back foot and your front foot. So if you're 6 feet tall, 3 feet doesn't seem like a lot, but most kids are at about 2.5 feet. I'd say Nathan could probably get, almost half a foot wider there. So the same concept of driving our back knee is seen here. This is a crossover drill. There's a couple different variations. This is Michael. He's a sophomore. He's a very nice swing. He definitely does a good job of getting his feet nice and wide when he's planting them. And this drill is great for making sure that we get that feeling of getting our back knee through the zone while keeping our head still and driving the ball. Back to Matthew, who we saw earlier off the ramp. He's showing another variation of the same drill where you step behind. Some kids are more comfortable stepping behind. Some kids are more comfortable stepping in front. It really doesn't matter. There's a lot of different variations you can do on the crossover drill, but they all achieve the same thing of making sure that we're getting our body through the zone, driving that backside while keeping our head still. Here's Brian. He's a senior. He's a open stance hitter, so he has to take an extra step. So he steps in, then behind, and then goes. Same concept. This is Colin. He's a freshman. Very polished player for a freshman. He's going to have a nice high school career. You can see that he's very narrow here, and you're going to see me come and talk to him after this next swing and get him to widen up a little bit because he might only be 2 feet wide there. So we talked to him a little bit about widening up, making sure that when that plant foot gets down, that he wants to be about half a body length. You can see he widens up just a little bit more there, and it makes all the difference in the world as far as having a solid base and exploding through the ball, driving that backside, and that's a much firmer swing right there. See, keeping the head still, driving his back knee. He's doing a good job. Just needs to continue to widen up. Building off that, these are TCBs, or total control balls. You can see Kyle's kind of wrapping around the ball here. He's a junior. He's got a nice swing, but like a lot of kids, he tends to pull the ball too much, and Coach May is talking to him about trying to hit the inside part of the ball instead of wrapping around it. We want to keep those hands inside the baseball. Don't wrap around the ball. Kyle's got a really nice fast bat through the zone. We just need to keep working on hitting the inside part of the ball with him. Here's Jordan. He's a senior. He has very fast hands as well, and he does a good job of staying inside the ball. Here's Matt. Matt's a sophomore. Has a very nice swing. Very compact, very short, very fast to the ball. Does a good job of driving his back knee. See, he's working middle pitches, trying to hit the inside part. Those total control balls are really nice to use. Here's Michael. He's a senior, and we're working inside pitches here, so he's hitting it out in front, and that's why it's pulling over that way. Here's Anthony. He's a junior. He's got a very nice swing. Sometimes, like a lot of high school hitters, he tends to get too narrow, and so we're working on widening him up as well. All right, now this is another variation of everything we've been working on, getting the hand path. It's just a T drill. We're picking that front leg up like a pitcher, balance point for about a second, and then making sure we get it down. We want to get that feeling of getting our hands downhill. All right, we're going to go back to Matthew again. We want to get that feeling of when we get to this point, to that balance point, all right, that's where we want our weight to be when we're facing live pitching. And then as we start to initiate with our back knee, we get that front foot down and firm front leg, driving the back knee, head still. And we just get that feeling of it's cheating right now is what I tell the kids. Like, hey, I'm letting you cheat. Go ahead and cheat, but let's get that feeling of getting our back knee to the ball, getting our hands on that nice downward path, working downhill, pretending that we have that block on our back foot, pushing off, firing that back knee to the ball, making sure that we keep our head still through the zone. Here's Ryan. He's a junior. He has an open stance, so you're going to see him pick his foot up and then pause and then go. Now, when we hit in a game, we don't, for the most part, our kids do not pick their foot up anywhere near that high. It's actually short, soft, and flat. Like I said, this is an over-exaggeration drill, just trying to get our kids working downhill. And we're going to finish where we started, and this is Anthony. He's a junior, working that fast bat drill. You can see he's got a nice short swing to the ball. He's really worked hard on widening up, and the pitches come in pretty quick. You can see in the background, it's still working the wedge drill over there, and the kids rotate around the gym and end up getting to back to where we started. So hope you enjoyed part 2 of the series. I'm sure we'll be back with some more tips and drills later, and of course you can modify these at any time for your age group, and if you ever have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me, and I'd love to help you implement these at your level. Have a great day, and go Bulldogs.